From your perspective, though, you actually spent time with Diddy. When you used to go to New York, you would spend time with him, and he would spend time with you when he would come. You guys would go hang out together with obviously other peers. Did you notice anything around Diddy where you said, this is a little bit, obviously there's a woman, you're having a good time, you're partying, you're doing your thing, but did you ever see anything where it was out of line, where you said, I think this guy likes men, or I think he likes certain things that's a little weird?
Well, all due respect to Puffy, you gotta realize one thing. He didn't start off like that. I'm quite sure somebody taught him that, and that's more deep in the industry. You guys who got involved with a lot of people who was their mentors, instead of having a guy to mentor your own father, they was having these guys they mentor. And when that happens in the industry, it was done to them, they do to the next person. So I felt that Puffy was a regular, normal guy. And then when he started hanging with the guys in the industry, they did things to him, and then allegedly he did things to Usher. It goes on and on. But we got to stop this pointing the finger at the person who gets caught with their hand in the cookie jar. Where did it start from? But see, people don't want to touch on those angles that just started being the major executives who run these labels. So you guys want to speak on the people who got thrown under the bus, the sacrifice lamb.
Okay, well, that's actually very insightful for you to give that perspective. So if you're saying what Diddy did to Usher or what Diddy did to Bieber, that we've seen these videos, not necessarily what he did, but the stories where he's living with them at 13, if he was their mentor, who was Diddy's mentor?
Welcome back, y'all, to another gripping episode of Diddy Do It. Today we delve into the scandalous world of P Diddy, where new snitches are stepping forward to reveal shocking truths. Buckle up, because this is one ride you won't want to miss. The entertainment industry is reeling from the bombshell allegations against P Diddy. Reports of sexual misconduct and abuse have sent shockwaves through the music world, leaving fans and critics alike questioning the true nature of his empire. Suge Knight recently did an interview from jail where he is serving a lengthy murder sentence with Patrick Bet-David about Diddy's allegations and his secret relationship with Usher back in the day when he was underage.
We know some of the big names. I'm just curious if you have any names. You don't seem like somebody...
Well, number one was Clyde Davis. And you got to understand one thing. If Death Row, when I started Death Row, you got to remember one thing. I didn't have no co-founder, nobody else. I started that company on my own and grabbed Dr. Dre. At the end of the day, it was like this. When you have... So Universal is one big company. Doug Morris is the man at the time. Jimmy Iovine's in. If Doug Morris give Puffy a deal worth a whole lot of money, and the album didn't recoup, otherwise basically like flop didn't recoup, they're not going to give you no new money if they don't recoup the old money. But Puffy was able to go to the same umbrella and go to Jimmy and get just much, even bigger check that Doug gave him, even though it have not recouped. Only certain people who can get these type of favors. Now, in my situation, I didn't do anything to lose my company. I didn't do anything illegal to get my company taken away from me. They was able to commit fraud for my company, but it ends up to the hands of people who want to buy my company for $500 million, $700 million. I kept saying no, and then turn around, they can get block everybody and end up getting it for what, 20 or 30 million, which is crazy. If you add all that type of stuff up, and you'll see how the industry been built on the secret rooms. The people who don't participate in the secret room is the people who later on get burnt. The people who participate in the rooms, they continue to grow. Even when they get caught, they're not really caught. Because obviously, Puffy knew they was coming to the raid. Security wasn't there. He used to have like 4, 6 Muslim guys doing security. They wasn't there. A lot of people wasn't there. How do people know all these things? It wasn't just coincidence. You know? So it's easy to point the finger, but let's look at the whole thing and talk about somewhere you're going to educate everybody to help them.
Shine, a former artist of P Diddy, recently spoke on taking the blame for a gun charge for Diddy and Jenifer Lopez over 20 years ago that sent him to jail for a long time and got him kicked out the country. He's tired of keeping it a secret and is ready to tell the truth.
Everybody who didn't know, whatever, there was a shooting back in 99 in New York that was like in connection with Diddy, Shine, and 3 victims. Mm-hmm. Diddy and Shine were both arrested for it. Diddy got acquitted, and Shine did 10 years. When he got out of jail, he was deported back to Belize, and where he became the head of the Belize United Democratic Party. Mm-hmm. Okay, life got all types of twists and turns and stuff.
But that allowed him to come back to the States, so now he could come back to the States as an official, I guess, member of whatever it is, the board or whatever it may be.
Yes, thank you so much, assistant. But they're in Belize, they're like, they did this interview with him there because they have a problem with that. They're like you got deported, and they just trying to like come for him or whatever, right? And this is his audio in the interview. They was asking him about his past over here.
It opens wounds when you hear, the victim saying that it was Diddy that shot her. Everyone knew all along that I was the fall guy.
Is she accurate, sir?
I'm not going to get into that, but I am relieved that people are saying what the truth is, that, I did not shoot those people. Fragments were never removed, so there was never any forensic testing to say who it was. But the victims are vindicating me. Witnesses are vindicating me. But I have moved on. I'm not trying to relive that.
Yeah, I saw a lot of people saying, why is Shine just speaking on that now? But he's always said that.
Yeah,
he's always innocent. Yep.
He's always been consistent with that. So when the reporter asked him, does he think his association with Diddy taints his image, Shine just repeated the same thing he's been saying since 1999.
But when you do take the fall for something, that's just always going to be a stain. Like the state you took the fall for it. But
can't people grow and people evolve? Clearly, he's a clear case of growth and evolution.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, that's just what I'm saying. It's just always going to be that stain. People can grow and evolve from it, but the fact that he did take the fall for something like that.
But did he take the fall? Because he didn't plead guilty. He was charged, but he didn't plead guilty and say I'm doing this. But they charged him with it. So it didn't really take the fall because he's been saying he's been innocent for even when he got out. He said I didn't shoot that gun that night.
The victim, Natanya Rubin, who's been speaking up for years, also one of the victims. She's always said that Diddy was the one to shoot her. So I mean, both of their stories kind of do support each other. But yeah, this has recently just come about, this interview, which was on Channel 5 Belize. So that's just what I had to report.
And people act like he didn't get asked that. He got asked that. It's
yeah,
not like he just bought it up.
And since 09, in Belize, they've been asking. No. Since he got deported.
Got you.
Yeah, they've been asking him about this in Belize. So, yeah, you just wrapped your finger up, but yeah, I had another story, but whatever. That's just what
That's with the mess.
And her news is real.
That's right. Now, when we come back, we got front page news. Donald Trump was back in court, but who cares? We got to tell you about Juror 5, and we'll explain it when we come back. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
Wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.
In a recent interview with DJ Academics, Donald Trump Jr. discusses hearing about sexual allegations about Diddy even back then from his wife, who was best friends with Diddy's ex-wife Kim Porter, who mysteriously passed away a few years ago.
I think a lot of people also point out, though, like, hey, the raid on Mar-a-Lago was very different than the raid at Diddy's house. Did you see that raid?
Well, I did. I actually thought the raid at Diddy's house was pretty ridiculous. I understand the raid, but when they're holding like the kids at gunpoint and stuff like that, yeah. I thought that was bullshit. Like that was fucked up. But I mean, but it was kind of similar, like I said, in the sense that like the Mar-a-Lago raid, like they were literally going back and forth with the lawyers for weeks. It's like, okay, come in, do what you need to do. Like, but they show up with the hostage rescue team, like guys that carry machine guns to serve a warrant and do a search on a president's home, like. Well, he's not going like full Scarface and like say hello to my little friend. Like, I mean, this isn't happening. But like, so that was done, and probably the same with Diddy. Like, it's a show of force. It's designed like, this is a threat. It's not, it's totally unnecessary.
What do you think about that? He's someone who's operated in that entertainment sphere that's kind of similar, and we do know, like, previously, I think it was maybe the 2008 election, like he spearheaded the vote or die movement, and he's kind of been politics adjacent, but he's been big and it's kind of like, I know him and your father must have had relationships or whatever.
They did for a long, and then he went full leftist, maybe because of some of the stuff he's been doing, because that whole thing's crazy. But it was interesting, like, and now it sort of all comes back together. Just, dude, like I said, I sort of grew up in that world. I grew up in New York. Before politics, like, I used to get invited to the cool person parties. I was there.
Did you ever
right?
hear anything?
Not those parts. So not me directly, but it's my ex-wife actually she was a model in New York, and like she was really good friends with Kim Porter, who was Diddy's wife, the one who died at 47 from pneumonia, and it was like,
that's
and
what they
when
said.
that happened, she called me, and this was a couple of years ago now, maybe not even, a couple of years ago, and she called me like, something's up with that. I go, what do you mean? She's like, oh, dude, Kim used to tell me like. It was a bad, like, there's a lot of weird shit that I didn't even know that, like, but they were like, they'd do photo shoots together or whatever. They were sort of friendly. Like, they'd hang out. Like, we'd see them out downtown, and like, I'd hang out with her. Not so much with, I think it was already sort of over there, but like, she was really afraid of him, and it.
Really?
Yeah. Like, this goes back years, and so like, and she was having these conversations with my ex. I was like, I don't know what, like.
A lot of people believe that whatever happened there happened with the woman afterwards, which was Cassie, and supposedly.
No, like I said, like I didn't. You sort of don't think about these things until now. You go back and you're like, holy crap! Like, I distinctly remember when Vanessa was like, calls me and was like, hey man, Kim Porter died. I go, what? Like, we saw her like a couple of weeks, whatever it was. It was, and she goes, yeah, man, she was sort of always in fear of something happening. And I was like, maybe it's natural, but like, not a lot of people die at 47 of pneumonia. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, wow. Especially people who, obviously good shape.
There's a shit ton of rumors.
Again, and I'm actually not trying to fuel any kind of rumor, but I definitely, like, that's a conversation I had. Like, someone who knew her well, was like friend, like they text, like, was like,
something.
She was like, she's like, something. She did not believe that was just natural.
That's the thing about that, because, and I guess that's also, it kind of leads into, some people are saying, hey, he's a Jeffrey Epstein of hip hop, and then also when it comes to that, people are like, well, did no one know until it got too late?
That's the problem. I think so many people, like, they always tried to do this thing, again, they did it with me with Jeffrey Epstein. It was nonsense, right? They tried doing it with my father because, like, he lived in Palm Beach and he came to Mar-a-Lago in the early 90s. Like he was literally thrown out of Mar-a-Lago in the early 90s. Like, he was like a member, and my dad's like, no more, you're out. Because, like, there was these rumors, and he was like, I just don't want to be a part of that.
Oh, I thought you were going to say they called him, like, in the bathroom.
Well, no, but he was trying to pick up, like, girls that worked in the spa, and he was like, no more of this shit. Like, you're out. So
leave my workers alone, man. Get out of here, man.
Yeah, so there was always something about him that we never quite... So he threw him out in the early 90s, but that's why it's so odd that even after he went for it, not like innuendo or like rumor, like the guy went to jail, he comes out and he's having dinner with, big media personalities and Bill Gates, and it's like, no, but here's the one. Notice how it's always the one picture with him and Trump? There's one picture of them together, and they're like, it's like from 1992, and they're like, they were great friends. I'm like, how come you don't tell the rest of the story? How come you don't talk about the other guys that were friends with him in 2017 after all of that shit?
Right? That I watched like the documentary. That was even spooky, where they're like, yo, the first time he goes into court and when he gets caught with something, and they're like, that court proceeding is like wiped from the record. You can't even find it.
Yeah, no, it's just gone. You know what I mean? And so,
is that rich privilege, or is that like, hey, listen?
No, that's more. That's like he's got shit on people privilege, and like as long as they're working that, like it feels to me like there's no way he wasn't working for someone. Whether that's there's the people say, oh, he was working for Mossad in Israel, and he was basically there setting up powerful people. Right, setting up powerful people, get them in a compromising position. Whether it's Prince Andrew or one of these people, like get them. Hey, we got a picture of you with an underage girl. Now you work for me. It feels more like that than anything. And then, he got too far, so he was no longer useful or whatever it may be, and that's when they take him out. But like,
Candace Owens said she believes that the raid on Diddy's house was more than likely, because apparently I didn't even know that they said there were princes even partying with Diddy. Like a Diddy party is like the cultural apex of.
I believe that. Yeah.
So they believe that he probably had stuff on people. And what's going on now is they believe that the raid, or she believed that the raid, was to maybe go get that information to absolve those people.
Or to prevent that information from getting out.
Even Kesha is saying fuck P Diddy. In her recent performance at Coachella, she switches the lyrics to her hit song TikTok to let Diddy and the world know how she really feels about him.
Diddy, you know it's bad when all of Coachella screams F you just because your name came up. Welcome to Popcorn Planet. I am Andy Signor, and this past weekend was the first weekend of Coachella, where a lot of big bands show up and they bring on special guests. Lana Del Rey headlined and brought out Billie Eilish. No Doubt reunited and brought out Olivia Rodrigo. Shakira showed up for Bizarrap. And Taylor Swift showed up to dance to Taylor Swift, because Ice Spice was there. Anyway, the big one that everyone's talking about was Kesha. Kesha showed up to join Renee Rapp on stage, and she did her hit song, TikTok. Now, I want to go back and play this song. Fair use. Here's the TikTok. I got to start and stop it, but if you don't remember how the beginning of her hit song TikTok goes, it goes like this. Here's the visuals too. Here she comes.
Wake up in the morning.
Wake up in the morning.
Feeling like P Diddy.
Hey, what up, feeling like P Diddy. Hey, what up, girl?
My glass.
Hey, what up, girl? That was actually P Diddy on the track. So, wake up in the morning feeling like P Diddy. That's what the song was. Now, she showed up to Coachella this past weekend with Renee Rapp, and here's how they changed it.
Together for Kesha!
Here's Kesha. TikTok. Woo! Damn! They both went there with the birds in the air, like they just don't care. They were not going to support P Diddy. They were not going to do it. And so they went off, and this wasn't just like some, oh, I got to be political. Like the song originally has P Diddy in it, so she has to adjust it. Now, this wasn't the first time she's adjusted it. When Cassie won her lawsuit, and I'm going to go through, we also have the story of Diddy in the studio. When Cassie's lawsuit was settled, she actually changed the song there when she was on tour. So this isn't actually that new, but she didn't say F it. Here's what she did previously.
Wake up in the morning feeling just like me. Get my glasses.
Waking up in the morning feeling just like me was what the original edit was. So she did one where she just didn't want to have Diddy in the song, and she decided to waking up just like me instead of like P Diddy. That's what it was.
As more voices speak out against P Diddy, it's clear that his time at the top may be coming to an end. But the fight for justice is far from over. We want to hear from you, viewers. What are your thoughts on these shocking revelations? Comment below, like, subscribe, and share to keep the conversation going.